Out of the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we will break down the latest roster moves for your Kansas City Chiefs, including the signing of Tyquan Thornton. We'll tell you all about Thornton. Go over his scouting report coming up in just a matter of moments. Also, on today's show, some big changes are afoot for your Kansas City Chiefs after they lost to the Buffalo Bills. We will go over what those are and share our reaction coming up in just a bit. Plus, we'll preview the Chiefs matchup against the Carolina Panthers, and we'll do a Q&A mailbag as well. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on today's program. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show rolling here on this Tuesday afternoon. Checking in for the Chat Sports Studios here in downtown Dallas, Texas. We got Paul in Tonganoxie. I got Tony in El Paso. Got Marcus Davenport. Is that the Marcus Davenport, the NFL player, or is this another Marcus Davenport? Checking in at least from Kansas City, Missouri. Gabe is in Gresham, Oregon. Got JJ in Hillsboro, Oregon. I didn't know we had so many Oregon Chiefs fans. Got Nick in Lynchfield, Ohio. Lisa in Parsons, Kansas. I got Hector in Phoenix, Redbeard in Springfield, Missouri. David Buck, no relation to Joe Buck. That's unfortunate. Joe's the best. I got Paul in here. Marcus says another Marcus Davenport. DFN Lone Wolf in KCK. Got Don in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Gabe says Oregon is Chiefs Kingdom. David in San Antonio. Tony saying hi, Tyler. George saying what's up. What's up, guys? How many Chiefs punters can you name all time? I want to test the chat and see who can come up with the most individual punters. And I'll give you a little head start. I'll give you Matt Araiza. I'll start there. And then it's up to you to see who can come up with the rest. Who in their individual comment can come up with the most individual Chiefs punters all time? A little quiz for the chat. And let's see how many you guys can come up with and test your Chiefs Kingdom knowledge and see if you're a real Chiefs fan or if you're just one of these on the Mahomes bandwagon. Even if you are one of those, hey, we welcome one. We welcome all. We love everybody here. Let's see. Anthony's got one with Dustin Colquitt. Not a bad answer. Gabe's got Tommy Townsend. I gave you another one, folks. All your answers should include Matt Araiza as well, because I've already given you that one. There we go. Marcus Davenport's got two. Actually, no, Harrison Butker's not a punter. Wrong answer, Marcus. David's got J.D. Wilson. Okay. Let's see who can come up with the most Chiefs punters. Let us know in the chat. Big Tex is hanging out here with me. He's on the ones and twos today. If you want a shout-out from Big Tex, go ahead and spam C in the chat. Marcus Santos was a kicker. He wasn't a punter. Incorrect. Marcus, that's two misses on your part, my guy. Those are kickers, not punters. Spam C in the chat. Let's get this chat rate going. I already got 84 people here. I want more people here. And so this will kind of wake up the algorithm to let people know that we're live and we're rolling here on this Tuesday. You want a shout-out from Big Tex, spam those C's. Tex will shout them out. Let's see as many as we can in this next minute. Find out who's going to be the early favorite to be MVP on today's show. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
JJ, Gabe, David, Gabe, Tony, David, Gabe, Tony, David, Gabe, Tony, David, Tony, did you get your workout in? Gabe, Dave, Lisa, JJ, David, Lisa, JJ, Tony, Anthony, Paul, Lisa, JJ, David, Paul, David, JJ, Anthony, Lisa, David, Maximo, Anthony, Maximo, George, Gabe, David, JJ, Lisa, Marcus Davenport. How's your season going? Maximo, Paul, David, Gabe, Nick, George, Paul, David, Paul, Maximo, David, Gabe, David, JJ. Maximo's beating you all. Let's go. Spam C. Tony.
Tony said he got his workout in.
Let's go, Tony. Good stuff, man.
10 seconds left.
Anthony, JJ, David, Gabe, George, Anthony, David, Maximo, David, Anthony,
3,
HD,
2,
Gabe,
1.
Tony. Good stuff.
Nice work. I think I saw David Buck in there the most. I think David was in there the most. And I saw, of course, Tony. Glad Tony got his workout in. Tony, was it arm or leg day today? Report back. Let us know. If you're ready to start today's show, like the video. I'm at 19 likes right now. I need 30 to officially get this show started. And let's have ourselves a day. Let's enjoy ourselves and talk Chiefs football. I know that we lost this past week, but hey, we're still going to rally. This team's going to be fine. Everything's okay when you got Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. Folks, we lost to the Raiders on Christmas a year ago. There's no need to panic about losing to the Bills after winning 9 straight. I don't want to hear all this nonsense about the Chiefs being frauds and all this because they lost one game to Buffalo week 11 after winning 9 in a row. This team's going to be fine. 2 more likes and we'll begin today's show and we'll get this thing started. I see JJ liked the video. Tony said today was leg day. Very good, Tony. Who else has liked the video? I need one more like. And let me know in the chat when you like the video, and we'll get this thing started here. One more. And while we wait on that additional like, here's the Super Chat menu. If you'd like to get involved in today's show, first-time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5 Super Chat will do the Mahomes song. $10 Super Chat will take down some shots. $20 do the spicy jelly bean. $50 will do a beer bong. And we reached 30-plus likes. So good work, everybody. Robert and Maximo also liked the video as well. Coming up on the program, we will go over some news and rumors, some roster moves for the Kansas City Chiefs that we'll break down here in just a moment. Also, some major changes on the way for the Chiefs after the loss to Buffalo. We'll preview the matchup against Carolina, and we will do a Q&A mailbag as well here on today's program. All that and more. Glad to have you with us. Jonesy Big Tex here with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Let's go ahead and get started. Begin with our roster update. We'll start there, and then we'll go to major changes, game preview, and Q&A mailbag. Get your questions in. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. If you Super Chat us, those will get priority. We'll answer those first. But we need as many questions as we can. Start getting those questions in now. I have somewhere to be after this, folks. I got to go do a college football show on our main channel. So I need to get out of here as quickly as possible today. So start getting your questions in now. That way I can have time to go do our college football show. It would help me out a lot if you guys get your questions in. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat for that mailbag. All right, without further ado, let's get started. Segment 1, as we're talking roster updates for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that begins right now. Welcome in to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Schultz here with you. Thanks for joining us. The Kansas City Chiefs have made multiple roster moves. We will catch you up to speed with everything you need to know on your Kansas City Chiefs coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, got a little challenge out there for the Kingdom. Our record for most new subscribers on any video for the month of November is 115. Not bad, but I know we can do better. I'm looking at you. I'm looking directly into camera 1 right now. I want you to subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, and let's get 150 new subscribers today for daily Chiefs coverage, live shows, watch parties on game days, breaking news, Q&A mailbags. It's all right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you're a diehard Chiefs fan, you got to be subscribed to the channel. And the best part about it, 100% free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Couple changes for the Kansas City Chiefs as they have signed wide receiver Tyquan Thornton, formerly of the New England Patriots, to the practice squad. And they also released Cornell Powell off of the practice squad as well. Let's tell you more about Tyquan Thornton, the newest member of the Kansas City Chiefs. A 2022 second-round pick out of Baylor by New England, was a fantastic player with the Bears, an all Big 12 selection. He was released just a couple days ago by New England, and a bit of a surprise considering how high they were on him just a couple of years ago. And with the Patriots retooling that wide receiver room, there was a belief that Tyquan Thornton was going to be a big impact player for New England. Ultimately, that did not work out. 28 career games played with 13 starts in his career. And to be honest with you, Tyquan Thornton really hasn't done much. And what Brett Veach is doing here is he looks at a guy that certainly has potential, that the scouting report we're going to show you says a lot, that this guy can do some things, but he just hasn't put it all together at this point. You look at his career numbers, and so far in his young career, he's only had about 39 total catches for 385 yards, close to 10 yards of reception, 2 touchdowns off of 76 targets. But the thing about Thornton, he looks the part. If you were to say, all right, what does a wide receiver in the NFL, what are you looking for? You're looking for speed, you're looking for height, athleticism. He has those things. He just hasn't put it all together. He is a project player. And for Kansas City, this signing makes a ton of sense. Even though he hasn't put it together, this is a low-risk situation where you put him on the practice squad, see if he shows you something, and then potentially give him the chance to get on the active roster. He can't be any worse, you would think, than Sky Moore, right? I mean, come on now. Here's the scouting report on Thornton. A long athlete with good height, excellent long speed skills, flashes wide range catching ability. He's a willing blocker as well. We don't say that a whole lot about wide receivers in the National Football League being willing to take that extra step and be a good blocker. He is that. But he does have small hands, and size matters. Does have some issues with drops at times due to those small hands. And we talk about the speed that he brings to the table. 4.28 40-yard dash time at the NFL Draft Combine just a couple years ago when he was coming out of Baylor. How would you grade the signing? I'll give you my grade in just a moment, but want to hear from you guys first. A, B, C, D, or F. What do you think of the addition of Tyquan Thornton to the Kansas City Chiefs? Weigh in the comments section on our pinned comment today and let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and they got a great deal they're offering you right now, folks. They will give you $50 to spend for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money. This week on Prize Picks, a look ahead to the Chiefs-Panthers game this weekend, going with Patrick Mahomes to have more than 236.5 passing yards. And I got Xavier Legette, the rookie receiver for the Panthers, to have less than 39.5 receiving yards. If I put $20 down and both those hit, that turns into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Glad to have them on board here on today's show. My grade, I'm going to go with a solid B+ here. This is a player that I don't have any problem with putting on the practice squad and seeing what he could potentially do. But the reason why this is a B+ compared to an A is that so far his time in the National Football League, he has shown nothing. What this signing means for Kansas City, kind of looking big picture, and this isn't just any practice squad signing. What this signals to me is that when you look at the wide receiver position for Kansas City, that Brett Veach and Andy Reid are continuing to put their efforts in to try to get this position right. We saw what they did bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, and that was a big deal. Juju Smith-Schuster, you have back from injury, and that's huge for this team. You're going to get Hollywood Brown back in time for the postseason. But as they go along here, this team still hasn't quite figured it all out when it comes to this group. Xavier Worthy has had his moments, but he's been inconsistent. McCole Hardman has been mostly a special teams player. Justin Watson has been okay at times, and then he's just kind of missing. If they see anything they like out of Tyquan Thornton, there's a spot open right there on that depth chart that he could potentially slide in. There's a chance, if he proves himself, that he could get activated and he could see time on the 53-man roster for Kansas City. This is a huge opportunity for him. And Brett Veach, he likes his projects. I imagine that when Brett Veach was in middle school, that he loved the science fair and putting together those projects, because Brett Veach, time and time again, has found guys that other teams have given up on and turned them into something. We've already seen it this year with Juju and Kareem Hunt, and among others. There's no risk at all for Kansas City to give Tyquan Thornton a shot and see if he can bring anything to the table at this point in time. And I got to tell you, as I was reading more about Tyquan Thornton and seeing what people were saying, this comparison I found fascinating. The comparison that was thrown out there by Nick Jacobs of 41 Action News, that does a great job with KSHB, the NBC station in Kansas City. He compared him to former Chief Chris Conley, saying he might be Chris Conley 2.0. If you found the second coming of Chris Conley, I would gladly take that on this Chiefs team right now. Here's more from Nick Jacobs of 41 Action News. He reminds me a lot of Chris Conley in his size, long arms, and hint more of speed. He really shines in vertical slants and deep posts. Thornton can run a slant, stop, change directions, and accelerate the opposite way to take it to the distance. And we know that Andy Reid loves himself some speed. And if the Chiefs can find more ways to stretch the field and take advantage of that, then that will go a long ways. And maybe even the special teams game potentially Tyquan Thornton could get involved in and help out and kick and punt return coverage and use that speed. And then you don't have to use some of your other key players in those special teams roles potentially and have Tyquan Thornton fill in instead. And that way you aren't risking injury on some of your key players in special teams potentially. Charles Goldman of A to Z Sports had this to say on Thornton. It's easy to see what attracts Kansas City to Thornton. That's speed, something you simply can't teach, and something that Andy Reid knows how to use in his offense all too well. And boy, does he ever, folks. What is your one-word reaction to the Chiefs signing Tyquan Thornton to the practice squad? I'll give you my one-word reaction in just a moment, but when I hear from you guys first, way in the comments section, let us know what you think. My one word, this is all about the speed. He's a speed demon, folks. And if they can find a way to utilize that speed and get him on that active roster, I think this is a natural fit for what Kansas City's looking for. As a wise man once said, all gas, no brakes. And that's what I'm looking for from Tyquan Thornton. I want to see him put the pedal to the metal. For continuing Kansas City Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report for the latest happenings on your favorite team all season long. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. 1 down, 3 to go. Up next, we're talking major changes coming for Kansas City. How would you grade the signing? A, B, C, D, or F? Edwin says C. Paul says C. Now he's changed his grade to A. Tony going B. Get your grades in. Let us know. Up next, major changes coming for the Kansas City Chiefs. We got 3 things that the Chiefs are about to do differently here after they lost to the Buffalo Bills. We'll explain what those are in just a moment. We'll do our game preview, and then we'll do a Q&A mailbag as well to wrap up before we call it a day here on this edition of the Chiefs Report. Yeah, super chat menu real quick, and then we'll get moving here. If you'd like to get involved in today's show, you can super chat us. $sign next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute. First-time super chatters get the KC chant. $5 super chat, we'll sing the Mahomes song. $10 super chat, we'll do some shots. $20 super chat, we'll get Bean Boozled. $50 super chat, we will do a beer bong. And would love to have you guys contribute and get involved in today's show. Let's go ahead and get started now with major changes for the Kansas City Chiefs. What are they going to do differently after the loss to the Buffalo Bills? A bit of a wake-up call of sorts for Kansas City. We will discuss all of that and more as we continue here on this live edition of the Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones, Big Tex here with you. Let's go ahead and get started with segment 2, beginning right now. Major changes on the way for your Kansas City Chiefs after the loss to the Buffalo Bills. Was it a wake-up call for Kansas City? Losing at home to Buffalo, what are they going to do differently from here? I've been telling you, folks, losses expose your weaknesses. And for this Kansas City Chiefs team, after starting 9-0, they're going to do some things differently. We'll let you hear directly from Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, and among others coming up in just a moment. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we go any further in today's show, I want to set our likes record for the month of November. Currently, our likes record is 472, but I know we can do better than that, folks. Can we get 500 likes on today's video? If you love the Kansas City Chiefs If you love hanging out with us here at the Kansas City Chiefs Report, just hit that thumbs up icon. We certainly would appreciate it, and we'll get going here on today's show. 3 major changes ahead for the Kansas City Chiefs after the loss to the Buffalo Bills. What will this team do differently going forward? And Andy and company had some interesting things to say that we'll get to. Let's start with the obvious one, and that is the return of Isaiah Pacheco. All signs point to that Pacheco should return to the football field for the Kansas City Chiefs this week against the Carolina Panthers. Andy said that depending on how practice goes, that he should be in line to make his return. With that said, what does that do to this Chiefs offense? Let's let you hear from Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, who said this, referring to Pacheco and Kareem Hunt both. Those guys both want the football, which is a good thing. Pacheco brings that Energizer Bunny mentality. You put that together with Kareem, it's a great 1-2 punch. And this is going to enhance the run game for Kansas City here. I think that Pacheco steps back into his lead running back role, and he's going to be the bell cow. You heard Nagy say Energizer Bunny. He has the ability to make those explosive plays that Kareem Hunt can't quite do. We've gone over those numbers in the past of the difference between those two when it comes to their explosive play ability. I think that Pacheco's going to be your every down back, and then Kareem Hunt's going to slide in when it comes to short yardage situations, and that they will feed well off each other. Pacheco, before he got hurt, had a big game against the Cincinnati Bengals. In the 2 games that he's played this season, rushed for 135 yards, 4 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. Also had an impact in the receiving game as well with 54 receiving yards off of 7 catches. I think Pacheco is going to be a nice fit for this Chiefs offense, only going to take them up another level and do a really good job. I'm excited about Isaiah Pacheco's return here to Kansas City, hopefully this week. Will Pacheco make a big impact for the Chiefs? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in, let us know. Y for yes, in for no. Chime in and let us know if you think he will make an impact or not. Today's show is sponsored by Public Rec. I am wearing my Public Rec shirt. It is extremely comfortable. It looks good. You got to get a Public Rec shirt for yourself. Let's be real, guys. Wearing nice pants sucks. Who decided that stiff, uncomfortable fabric, squeezing your family jewels, was the key to looking sharp? Well, here's an early holiday gift from me to you. Those days are finally over. Public Rec's Daymaker pants are here to make sure you stay comfy and classy this season. They feel like your favorite sweats, but look like tailored pants. Yup, super stretchy with an elastic waistband so you can rock them anywhere. Give the comfort to yourself or someone you love this holiday season with Public Rec's Daymaker pants, and for a limited time, you can get 20% off your entire order with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. It's 20% off when you use promo code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. And I love it so much, folks, that I hope Dad's not watching, because Dad's getting some Public Rec for Christmas this year, and I might have to do it as a stocking stuffer for my other buddies as well, folks. Public Rec not only has the most comfortable pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high-quality everyday basics. You can revamp your entire wardrobe with their perfect-fitting polos, shorts, and hoodies. Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off when you use code CHAT20 at checkout. That's 20% off with the code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you found Public Rec. Up next, Andy Reid has made it known that the other receivers for this Chiefs team, they got to step up a bit. That it can't just be D-Hop and Travis Kelce doing everything, and that other guys got to do their part, because when you take those guys away, like what we saw what Buffalo did, then that creates a big gap. Somebody else has got to step up. Xavier Worthy did a decent job against Buffalo, but really no one else was anywhere to be found in the receiving game with the down day from D-Hop and Kelce. Andy Reid said this. They bracketed Kelce up in certain situations. DeAndre tried to do it in certain situations, but again, we can work through that part. They're not the only 2 guys on the field, so the other guys have opportunities when that happens. He's sending a message loud and clear that everybody else needs to step up and do their part. And one guy in particular for me, I think, is Juju Smith-Schuster. And prior to the injury, Juju looked really good. Had a breakout game against the New Orleans Saints, but didn't do much at all against the Buffalo Bills. You look at his statistics so far this season. In 7 games played, 10 catches, 155 yards, most of those yards coming against the New Orleans Saints in that big game he had there. I want to see that version of Juju that we saw against New Orleans more consistently, especially when you have those down days for Kelsey and D-Hop that are going to happen every now and then. Against Buffalo, Juju just had 1 catch for 8 total yards with 8 yards of reception. He's got to do more. I can't really count on McCole Hardman or Justin Watson to get the job done. I need to see more of Juju Smith-Schuster, and I think Andy Reid knows that, and he was trying to send a message loud and clear on that front. Do you believe in Juju Smith-Schuster? If you do, type B for believe. If not, type D for don't. Get in that comment section. Let us know. Want to make sure you subscribe to the Chiefs Report as we're bringing you live shows every Tuesday, watch parties on game days, daily news and rumors. We're also bringing you breaking news, Q&A mailbags. If you are a diehard Chiefs fan, this is the channel for you. Subscribe now for free. Doesn't cost you a thing. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Stay up to date, up to the minute Chiefs analysis you won't find anywhere else right here in the Kansas City Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Last on our list of major changes on the horizon for the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid pointed to something that, I'll be honest, I was a little surprised about. He said that he and the rest of the coaching staff are going to back off a little bit. And when you hear what Andy says, it makes more sense. Let's listen to Andy directly. Andy said in one of his news conferences this week, you got to make sure that we're sharp, whether it's assignments or execution. We can do better in that area. We can do better as coaches of making sure our guys can be put in positions to do better and to maybe back off a little bit on certain things that we've been doing to help the players out so they can play a little bit faster. So what Andy's alluding to here is that they're not looking to micromanage as much. That the pre-snap situations, when you see guys like Nagy and Andy and others changing things up at the line and trying to look at what the defense gives you, they're not going to do that as much. They want this team to play fast without thinking. They want it to feel natural. That way, if it needs to be an up-and-down shootout game, that they trust their players to do that. And you look at Patrick Mahomes' track record, what he's been able to do over the last several seasons, there's no reason why he can't be trusted to go out there and do his thing. And then you course correct it later on the sidelines if there's mistakes, if there's things to clean up. So I like hearing this from Andy. We've seen this offense over the years be at their very best when they're running that 2-minute offense, when the players are free-flowing and do their thing. And I think we're going to see more of that this upcoming week and the next several weeks to follow. What changes do you think the Chiefs need to make after they lost to the Buffalo Bills? Weigh in and let us know what comes to mind of what you would like to see the Chiefs do differently. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Like the video, smash that thumbs up icon. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us, and we shall see you next time right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. All right. There we go. 2 down, 2 to go. Up next is game preview, and then we'll do a Q&A mailbag. I still need your questions. I see Tony's got a question. I want Gabe to get in there. I want Paul, Cole, DFN, Lone Wolf. Get your questions in. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Will Pacheco make a big impact? Why for yes, in for no. Get that comment section. Let us know if you guys think Pacheco is going to make a big impact or not. Super Chat menu, if you guys would like to get involved in the show by sending us a Super Chat, $ next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute. Still waiting on the first Super Chat of the day. I want to see who's going to send in that first Super Chat. We're going to go crazy when we get that first Super Chat. I don't care if it's $1, if it's $50. We're going to put on a show for you guys when you send in that first Super Chat. Make it happen, and we'd love to hear from you and show you some love on the show when you guys send us a Super Chat. Up next, game preview time. What's it going to take for the Chiefs to beat the Carolina Panthers? We'll go over our keys to victory, the injury report, also give you our prediction as well on this third segment out of 4 as we enter the third quarter here on the Chiefs Report. Let's go ahead and get started with our Week 12 preview. Chiefs and Panthers begins right now. It is Week 12 of the National Football League. Your Kansas City Chiefs looking to rebound after they lost to the Buffalo Bills a week ago. A get-right game this week as they travel to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we'll go over our keys to victory, break down the injury report, and I'll give you my prediction as well at the end of the program. The Chiefs, 11-point favorites. The over-under set at 42.5. The Chiefs with a 9-1 record, trying to win home field advantage in the AFC. The Panthers at 3-7. New head coach Dave Canales trying to ride the ship and build some momentum as they enter the second half of 2024. If you're ready for Chiefs game day, you already know what to do. Spam C in the comments section. I need to see at least 300 C's in those comments. If you're excited about this game, I want you to get in that comment section, get rowdy, as if you're in your seats at Arrowhead Stadium. Spam those C's, and we'll get started with today's show. Let's begin with the injury report for Kansas City. You already know Harrison Butker is out. He's on injured reserve with a knee injury. Isaiah Pacheco expected to return this week, but ultimately it comes down to how he looks in practice. At the time of this recording on Tuesday, he still remains questionable for his return. Same with Charles Omenihu. They'd like to have him back off that ACL injury and make his season debut, but that remains to be seen as he's questionable. Meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers, they are pretty banged up themselves, a lot more so than Kansas City is. Miles Sanders at the running back position is doubtful with a foot injury. Veteran wideout Adam Thielen is questionable with a hamstring injury. Tight end Tommy Tremble with a back injury is questionable. They also have an offensive tackle with an ankle injury that's questionable for Carolina as well. Jamie Robinson at the safety position with a knee injury is questionable. Jonathan Brooks at the running back spot with an ACL injury. He is questionable. So you can see Carolina is pretty shorthanded there at the running back spot. And then there's DJ Johnson with a concussion. He is questionable as well for Carolina. What's it going to take for Kansas City to beat KC? Let's start with the quarterback position for the Carolina Panthers. They are going back to Bryce Young as he's played the last 3 games after the car accident that happened to Andy Dalton, and Bryce Young taking his old job back. And what we've seen from Bryce Young early on in his career, these first 2 seasons, is he's been very mistake-prone. He has been a turnover machine, and he struggled with dealing with pressure throughout his time in the National Football League. His completion percentage so far this year, 60.1%, 820 total yards, 4 touchdowns, 6 picks. QBR not so hot either with a 32.6 quarterback rating. But he has played better, not necessarily played great the last 3 games, as his completion percentage has gone up to close to 63%, 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I think that it's going to be very crucial for Kansas City to do what they can to slow down Bryce Young, to force him into those mistakes. And if they can do so, they're going to be in great shape. And the Chiefs have not done a good job of creating turnovers. And if you're looking for an opportunity to create turnovers, this is a great chance facing a quarterback like Bryce Young. Who do you got? You going with Kansas City? You're going with Carolina? Type KC for Kansas City. Type CAR for Carolina. Weigh in the comments section and let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and they got a great deal they are offering you folks. They will give you $50 to spend for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money on Prize Picks. This week on Prize Picks, I got a good one here for you, folks. I think this is a winner. I got Patrick Mahomes to have more than 236.5 passing yards. I got Xavier Legette to have less than 39.5 receiving yards for Carolina. If I put $20 down, and that turns into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Glad to have them on board here on today's show. Up next, let's talk about two guys that didn't really do much for the Chiefs in the loss to the Buffalo Bills. That would be Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins. And we already know when it comes to Travis Kelce, when he's on, and he's a huge difference maker for this Chiefs offense. And when he's been good this year, he's been right up there with the best tight ends in the National Football League, as he's had 500 total yards, 500 plus actually, 2 touchdowns, 8.2 yards of reception, 62 total catches. But when he hasn't played well, he's kind of faded. They need Travis Kelce to have a big game. And when we talk about fading, he didn't do much against Buffalo. Just 2 total catches for 8 yards. This is a good time for Kelce to get back on track and have a big day against this Carolina Panthers team to rebound from what he did a week ago. Meanwhile, with DeAndre Hopkins in his 4 games with the Chiefs has been great. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. That game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a couple weeks ago, he was fantastic. But then, what happened against the Buffalo Bills? Well, he was kind of MIA himself. 3 catches for 29 total yards is all he had. I want to see Kelce and D-Hop get back to what we know they're capable of, and for those guys to show up and show out. When they're playing well, this Chiefs offense is just unstoppable. Need to get back to those ways and kind of reset the offense with those two. Let's go to the defense now. And one of the few bright spots for Kansas City last week was what we saw out of Chamari Connor there in the defensive backfield. He had a very good game, arguably the best game of his season so far. And what I'm hoping for is that Connor builds off of that he takes another step the right direction after that performance that he had against the Buffalo Bills. My hope is that it wasn't a one-hit wonder, that there's more of this to come for Chamari Connor. So far this season, he's accounted for 48 tackles, 1 sack, 4 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and 1 fumble recovery. And you go back to what he did last week against Buffalo, 8 tackles, 1 interception, 1 pass defended. And you look at this Chiefs secondary, it's no secret that there's some question marks, there's some concerns that have been raised since the departure of L'Jarius Sneed. And I'm looking at Chamari Connor. If he continues to play at a high level, and if Trent McDuffie is also doing so at that all-pro level that we know he's capable of, then we won't be talking about L'Jarius Sneed. Here we are, we're week 12, and we're still talking about what's this team going to do to replace L'Jarius Sneed. Connor can help the cause if he builds upon what he did last week against Buffalo. Who will be the Chiefs MVP against the Carolina Panthers? Get in the comments section and give me a name that comes to mind that you think is going to have a big day for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let us know in the comments section. Let's get some new subscribers here on the show, folks. Our most subs this much is about 115. We want to get about 150 today. We're going to be live for the Chiefs and Panthers game this weekend. We're going to continue to bring you our daily news and rumors. We also have our live shows during the week. It's all right here on the Chiefs Report. If you're a diehard Chiefs fan, this is the channel for you. Sub it up. Sub for Chiefs Dubs. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Lock us in for daily Chiefs coverage. Up next, let's go back to Carolina and stopping the run game for the Carolina Panthers. Going to be so huge for Kansas City, as this Carolina Panthers team, they don't want to have to put this game in Bryce Young's hands. If Carolina's going to have a chance, they're going to have to run the football well. The good news is for the Chiefs, they've done a pretty decent job this year when it comes to their run defense. The Chiefs' defense is only allowing totally less than 300 yards a game, 297.5 to be exact. It's 5th best in the NFL. But what they've done with the run defense, they're allowing just about 85.3 yards per game. That's 3rd best in the NFL. And a big reason why is what they've seen out of Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton's did a fantastic job when it comes to run defense. And at his position, you need run stoppers. And Nick Bolton's done just that. He needs to continue to do his part when it comes to stopping the run this week against Carolina. Chuba Hubbard, the former Oklahoma State tailback, has been the bell cow for Carolina. And you can argue he's having the best season of his career. He's been very good with over 5 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns, 818 yards. If you're Kansas City, I'm doing what I can to try to take away Chuba Hubbard and don't let the Carolina Panthers run game beat you in that way. I'll put the game in Bryce Young's hands and see what he does before I let Chuba Hubbard try to beat me. Last on this list, let's talk Kareem Hunt now. Getting creative with Kareem Hunt. At the time of this recording, on Tuesday, it seems optimistic that Isaiah Pacheco is going to make his return. With that said, though, that doesn't mean that Kareem Hunt should just fade to black and go into the distance here. If anything, they need Kareem Hunt now more than ever to be that complimentary back to Isaiah Pacheco. We've seen Kareem Hunt do a really good job when it comes to short yardage and being that power back. We've also seen him be effective when it comes to the receiving game. I just hope and pray that the Chiefs don't forget that Kareem Hunt is still there and that they can use him and make life easier on Isaiah Pacheco by having a second option there. Complementary football. Get the most out of both of them. Don't let Kareem Hunt go anywhere. He's been fantastic so far in 2024. And we talk about being able to do multiple things. Use Kareem Hunt in the receiving game too. He's had 3 games this season with 100-plus scrimmage yards. That includes receiving yards in that fold. So whether it's as a receiving back, whether it's in short yardage, just because Pacheco is likely to make his return doesn't mean you should forget about Kareem Hunt either. I think that would be a big key for Kansas City. Do you believe in Kareem Hunt? If you do, type B for believe. If not, type D for don't. I don't know why you wouldn't believe in Kareem Hunt at this point. He's looked great to me. Weigh in, let us know. To recap, our keys to a Chiefs victory. Got to force Bryce Young into mistakes. Feed Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins. Keep it up, Jamari Connor. I want to see more from him. Build upon what he did against Buffalo. Stop the run. Nick Bolton and company do their part to slow down that Carolina run game and get creative with Kareem Hunt as far as that goes. If the Chiefs do these things, there's no reason why the Chiefs shouldn't dominate this game. I like the Chiefs this week. I'll go with Kansas City 30-13, a resounding win, their 10th of 2024 here as they roll along through the run to the playoffs. If you're ready for a Chiefs win, spam W in the comments section. I want to see all those W's in that comment section if you're ready for victory this weekend. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here in the Chiefs Report. There we go. 3 down. 1 to go. We'll do our mailbag next. Yeah. You're going with the Chiefs, you're going with Carolina. Get your picks in. Type KC for Chiefs, type CAR for Carolina. Let us know who you got this weekend. Mike's going with KC. David's going with KC. Tony, your questions in. I need some more questions. What do you need, about 3 or 4 more? I think I need at least 3, maybe 4. I'm going to put about 2 minutes on the clock. Get your questions in, folks. That way I can get out of here. I got a college football show to do in about 50 minutes. So I need to leave, folks. So get your questions in. That way we can wrap up the show and I can get out of here for our college football show over on our main account. If you got nothing going on at 5:30 Central Time, join us for College Football Now, the College Football Playoff Rankings Reveal Show coming up at 5:30. So get your questions in. That way I can leave, folks. Please help me out. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Sam, I want you to get in there. Dale, Deborah, get your questions in. Give me about 3 or 4 questions, and then we should be good. David, I see your question. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. So I need 3 more. 3 more questions, and then we'll start this mailbag and we'll get out of here. I saw my mom was in the chat earlier. She said she was going to tell my dad what I'm getting him at that public rec. Please don't do that, Mom. Please don't. Please don't. 3 more questions, then we'll get started with this mailbag. Sam, Paul, Ioki, get your questions in. Make life easier on me. Don't make me stay here because I got places to be, things to do. And we'll continue. Our final segment, mailbag time. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. Tim, get a question in. Aoki, get some questions in. Hurry up. Hurry up. I got to get out of here. And then we'll wrap up after that. So, yeah, Tony's saying come on. Yeah, Tony's got the right idea. You tell him, Tony. Tell him to get their questions in. I got to go. I need to get out of here. Help me out, folks. Get your questions in. I hate begging. Why do you guys make me do this every single week? Why do we do this every single week? Get your questions in. Be like Paul. There we go. I need 2 more. 2 more. Gabe, good job. You can keep sending in. You can send in more questions if you want, Gabe. I don't care. Tony, he's got the right idea. Don't make life harder on Tyler, please. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for looking out. 2 more questions. 2 more questions, then we'll get going. Paul, Sam, Gabe, come on. Get those questions in. I need 2 more, then we can start. There we go, Mike. 1 more. 1 more. And then we'll get going. 1 more. That's all I need, and then we'll wrap up here on this Tuesday afternoon. Make sure and join us for Chiefs and Panthers. We'll be live coming up Sunday. Our coverage. David, you can't put a colon. Oh, never mind. Never mind, David. You're good. There we go. Good job, David. Sorry, we had a little technical issue. 1 more. Please, just give me one question. There we go, Gabe. Thank you. Sam, thank you. All right. Gabe just sent one in, and Sam just sent one in. Sam, you might need to do it again without the period next to Chiefs. Copy and paste that, but take the period out next to Chiefs. And then we'll be good. All right. We'll get going. Sam will get it figured out. All right, I'll take a swig of water, and then we'll get started. All right. Here we go, folks. It is mailbag time, our final segment, and then we'll wrap up here on today's program. Public rec. All right. There we go. Aoki, it's hashtag Chiefs. Don't please, folks. All right, here we go. Mailbag time. Let's get rolling here on the Chiefs Report. It is mailbag time here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Coming up on today's show, I'm going to explain something special the Chiefs are going to do. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll answer all of your news and rumors, mailbag questions on your Kansas City Chiefs as we head to Week 11 in the National Football League with the Chiefs set to square off against the Panthers. Where does this team go from here after they lost to the Buffalo Bills? We'll explain more coming up in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we go any further in today's show, though, folks, want to make sure not only you're subscribed, but you're also a part of the Noti Gang. Those are the folks that have their notifications turned on and are alerted when we have new content here on the Chiefs Report. We do these live shows every Tuesday. And if you turn on your notifications, you'll be the first to know when we go live, when we have breaking news. Maybe you want to be a part of our next mailbag segment, whatever it may be. Subscribe, turn on notifications, join the Noti Gang, and we'll get started with today's show. Tony the Tiger writing in. Listen, I know we lost against the Buffalo Bills. You know, you got to lose at some time. Haters are going to hate. Haters going to hate. Make excuses. But like Tyler told me last week, don't listen to those fraud fakers. Tony, I'm glad you're listening to me. That's great. But yeah, I listened to Andy Reid this week, and Andy made a point. He said, look, going undefeated wasn't the goal. That was cool, but big picture, this is not about going undefeated. You were going to lose at some point. Patrick said something similar, too, that they enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but that never was the end goal in mind. Eventually, it was going to catch up with you. Everybody is too good in this league to realistically go undefeated. And for the people that want to read into the loss against Buffalo and say, wow, Chiefs lost by 9 on the road. Buffalo is clearly the better football team. For goodness sakes, it was one game. Chiefs had won 9 in a row. That was the Bills' Super Bowl. We've seen the Bills do this before. They've owned the Chiefs in the regular season the last few years. I'm not reading into it too much. The Chiefs are still the team to beat. If these two teams meet again in the postseason, I still like Kansas City to find a way to get it done. So, no, I am not writing off the Chiefs. I still think they're better than the Buffalo Bills. Do they have work to do? Of course. They got a lot of things to do to get better. Receiving core's got to step up. Offensive line's got to get better. We need to see more of a pass rush. Those are just some of the things off the top of my head. But by all means, to say the Chiefs are frauds is just ludicrous, Tony. I'm with you. Goat Mahomes writes in, will Xavier Worthy's role increase after a strong showing against the Bills? Goat Mahomes, I think you're on to something there. And this is what I was alluding to when I said that I think that this Chiefs team is about to do something special here. Xavier Worthy, slowly but surely, has come along with this Chiefs team. And we saw last week his role increase, got about 4 catches. There was a string there of a few games where he had 8+ targets. And I think the Chiefs have been trying to find this comfort zone with Xavier Worthy, where they can stretch the field, but they can also use him for gadget plays as well. And I think they're starting to find their groove with Xavier Worthy of that first-round talent he is. And as we get towards this second half of the year, with getting the jitters off of being a rookie, with getting more comfortable in this offense, I think Xavier Worthy is about to take off. I really do think he is about to explode and do some things. I saw somebody make a comparison about Xavier Worthy that said, hey, if the field was about 18 yards longer, if we played on 118-yard football fields, Xavier Worthy would be Tyreek Hill 2.0. I think that's one of those things that just takes time. Get Xavier Worthy the ball more, find more ways to get him in space, and I think that he's got star potential. And I thought that this Sunday was a step in the right direction and that he's going to really kick it in gear over these next few weeks. I really do believe the best is yet to come with Xavier Worthy. Do you believe in Xavier Worthy? I believe. I'm all in on Xavier Worthy. He is worthy, folks. Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in. Let us know if you think Xavier Worthy is going to step up here in the second half of the season. Today's show is sponsored by Public Rec. Public Rec is the shirt I'm wearing today. And I got to tell you, folks, it feels very comfortable. It looks good. I love it. And you're going to love it too. Let's be real, guys. Wearing nice pants sucks. Who decided that stiff, uncomfortable fabric squeezing your family jewels was the key to looking sharp? Well, here's an early holiday gift from me to you. Those days are finally over. Public Rec's Daymaker pants are here to make sure you stay comfy and classy this season. They feel like your favorite sweats, but look like tailored pants. Yep, super stretchy with an elastic waistband so you can rock them anywhere. Give the gift of comfort to yourself or someone you love this holiday season with Public Rec's Daymaker pants. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off your entire order with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. That's 20% off when you use promo code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. I like Public Rec so much that this is going to be the gift I'm giving. I'm making sure everybody I know is hooked up with Public Rec for the holiday season, folks, and you need to too. Public Rec not only has the most comfortable pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high-quality everyday basics. You can revamp your entire wardrobe with their perfect fitting polos, shorts, and hoodies. Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off when you use code CHAT20 at checkout. That's 20% off with the code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you found Public Rec. Check him out, proud partner of the Chiefs Report. David Buck writes in, no relation to Joe Buck, I found out today. Given the cornerback issues as of late, is there any free agents you think would be a seamless fit to the Chiefs to help our back end? So I'm going to pull this up in real time of the list of free agent cornerbacks right now, folks. And I'll tell you this much. The options the pickings are slim when it comes to the cornerback position. Xavier Howard is probably the most talented guy that's out there, but he's got some character concerns and some off-the-field stuff that probably isn't worth bringing him in. Patrick Peterson has had a fantastic career. He's a future Hall of Famer, but is he washed? He very well might be. He had a very up-and-down year with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. J.C. Jackson might be a name to keep an eye on potentially. I like what J.C. Jackson's done. You don't have to go very far to find when he was last relevant. Those are the names to keep an eye on, but based on the way the Chiefs have gone about things, I'd be surprised if they sign another corner, especially considering they don't have much money to deal with. Cap space is very minimum right now, but you never know. We'll see. Big Red writes in, do you expect Nick Bolton to get extended soon? You know, I hope so. I hope that he and Trey Smith both get extended soon. But the longer this goes, the more nervous I am. Because what we heard from Brett Veach, if we recall, going back to the offseason and into training camp and all that, he had kind of a checklist of guys to pay. Took care of Harrison Butker, took care of Creed Humphrey, and then I thought he was just going to keep on going, that they were going to get Nick Bolton locked in, that they were going to get Trey Smith locked in. They just haven't done that yet. And with the way that Nick Bolton has played, there's no reason why he shouldn't be around for a long time. So I hope that's the case. And if you do get an extension done, you potentially could free up some money. But as we saw last year with L'Jarius Sneed, you can't pay everybody. I hope that Nick Bolton's not the odd man out in this situation. But longer this goes, it's not looking good. I think he'll get extended soon, but I can't say that with a ton of confidence at this point. Should the Chiefs extend Nick Bolton? Type Y for yes, in for no. Get in the comment section. Let us know if you think they should or not. Got time for about two more. Paul writes in, Chiefs to sign Donovan Smith. At the time of this recording, he has not been signed, but I hope it happens. Wanya Morris has been up and down. Kingsley went from being the starter to not even being activated last week. Not a bad idea at all. I'd like to see it. At the very least, have some depth, have another option compared to Wanya Morris there. I don't think it would hurt you at all. I would bring in Donovan Smith. I don't know what the Chiefs are waiting for at this point. Here's what I would say real quick on this. What concerns me about him not being here yet is, a lot of people assume, they'll eventually sign him. Well, what are they waiting for at this point? What's the holdup? If you want Donovan Smith, go get him right now. He's ready to play. Last question. David writes in, is there any chance that Hollywood Brown would be available for the postseason? Yes. We already know this. He's supposed to be back for the postseason. Yes, he will play. And the Chiefs offense will get him back, Pacheco and all that, and things are going to be good. Nobody's stopping that team in the postseason. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. We got to go. A lot of fun, folks. Make sure and join us coming up Sunday for Chiefs and Panthers. We'll see you then. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great night. So long, everybody.